Oh, what's going on, people? So, got to do the whole thing I normally do when I start these videos and make sure this stuff comes up and doesn't look like trash, like some sort of late 90s dial up. Because that's been happening every so often. Not a fan of it for obvious reasons, right? But you don't know until you know. So that's why I gotta wait for this thing to actually show up. Because there is a slight delay between when the StreamYard wants to show me things and when the YouTube wants to show me things or whatever. And see, there it is, just a little bit blurry. So just got to give that just a moment to kind of get itself together. So there could be any number of factors, like the power was out just a minute ago over here. So that might be some kind of thing. Might be something going on as far as just the overall network around here because it hasn't been great. The weather and stuff has been mostly terrible. I mentioned that in some video that I did recently, whichever one that was, I don't know. But I do know that I mentioned it. But either way, so here's the thing, right? I'm not on here to talk about anything in particular. I'm sure at some point, perhaps somebody or maybe some bodies will jump into the chat and then I'll talk to them. But for now, I'll say this. This Friday, I think, is Friday the 21st? I feel like Friday is the 21st. That's going to be my 3-year birthday, anniversary, whatever you want to call it, of doing this here YouTube thing, right? Which I tell you, like when I started this, I didn't really set out to do it for a specific amount of time or anything. It was just like, yeah, I've got some free time. We'll see what happens. But it is, in a way, hard for me to realize and think about the fact that I've been doing this for that long because it doesn't seem like it's been all that long. So part of that comes with, like having stayed pretty consistent in things and, just been fairly busy in my own normal life. So that does kind of keep things moving. But it's weird, like looking back at it and seeing, like, I don't know what the growth of the channel has necessarily been like from the outside looking in, but I can say that I've noticed certain things over the course of doing it that have been pretty cool. Like I'm always meeting new people. It goes in weird waves. It really does because initially, right? So back in what early 2019 when this whole thing kicked off, there was a number of people that were watching. Well, not immediately because let's face it, nobody has viewers when they first start. But anyway, so there was a few people that were watching, and some of them are still around today, and some of them aren't, right? And you never really know who's going to stick around for the long haul or whatever. But then as I move forward, like say every 4 to 6 months or whatever, it's almost like there's some sort of like a turnover, like a rotation of people that just kind of come and go through those times. So for a couple months, I'll see some similar names. For another couple months, some of those will move on and be replaced by new people and whatnot. So now, like, I look in the comments and nowadays I see people like ACS Sneakers in there. Logan J, he's not new, but he wasn't one of the original guys. People like P Town are still around in there. Every so often, McFly or Bobby Sneaker World will jump in there and let me know that they still exist. So that's cool. And then just like people like Kyle, right? Kyle Martin, he'll jump in. So I've been meeting some pretty good people, and I do like that part of it. But past that, it's like like I mentioned the other day, there is still the whole question of like how much longer I'll, stick with this or whatever. And if anything, I don't see it necessarily stopping. It'll probably just be like a decrease because how much time do I really need to spend doing this? It doesn't take away from anything, but I do have some other stuff that I could be doing with my free time, right? It says, "Oh wow, we're live." What? I mean, I don't know that "wow" is necessarily the word for it. I mean, it's not like this is some groundbreaking thing. Like, oh my God, is that him going live? Like, it happens every couple weeks, at least here on the YouTube, a little bit more often on the Instagram. But you've seen those. You know that. You're not new around here. Homegrown Kicks is one of those people that has recently jumped into this thing. Like I'd say within the last 8 months or something like that. I want to say, or wait, no, maybe like the last year. I forget when I met that dude. but it was, I think that was during my work from home year. So it would have been like maybe like a year and a half. That sounds more right. And as I say it back out loud, during one of those times when I did some live stream about the YouTube life. But yeah, so 3 years. There's a lot of time to do this. In that time, I've built up more shoes than I probably would have bought than if I was only buying them and just kind of keeping things to myself. So not necessarily that I buy anything for the sake of, YouTube, because that's just stupid to me. But sometimes I'll think like, I do want these and it'll give me something to talk about. So, then you pick it up. You pick up some new Air Max Pluses once in a while or some Form 84s. But everything that I've picked up has been something that I wanted to some degree, except for, certain things where it's just like, I'm curious about it. But one of the things to kind of celebrate myself or whatever, I am getting a new computer. So I'm going to be building that sometime later this week, hopefully. Maybe next week. I don't know. It depends on when all the parts start trickling in, because what happened was I ended up needing a new video card, and then so I ordered that. Well, I didn't order, but I got a friend of mine to get one for me, so that worked out. So I got that coming in. And because all the rest of my components are fairly old, I figured, you know what? Let's go ahead and just kind of get some other stuff here. To put this new hotness with some old busted stuff doesn't really make a lot of sense, right? Performance wise, or any other way. So I was like, yeah, I'll just get a new motherboard, processor, RAM. Just that'll be good. Then I thought, like, maybe I should just go ahead and build a whole new thing. So now I'm getting like new monitor, new case, everything basically except the power supply, because I still have one from when I thought I needed a new one. So I'm looking forward to that because it's been a long freaking time since my last build. I'm thinking 2015, mid 2015, something like that. And in the computer world, things move pretty quickly when it comes to age. So that's going to be going on hopefully soon, which means that I'll be able to get my videos done a little bit quicker, which is a huge hindrance at times because like it takes a good while to get some of these things together, somewhat because of just the encoding portion of it, right? All that stuff. So having something more modern, faster all around, I'm looking forward to that. I have to catch up on some research because I don't stay in tune with everything like I used to do years ago. It's a slippery slope, says Homegrown, and it is. And I looked at that slippery slope and I thought to myself, maybe I can pull this off, and not just like slip all the way down said slope. So I took a slight step forward and I just swoosh all the way down. And so now, several dollars later, I have a bunch of stuff coming in. But like I said, that's an older passion of mine, if you want to call it that. So, because I mentioned something around my megabyte review that I'm a little on the nerdier side. That's kind of what I do. It's what's the biggest part of my life outside of this, right? Well, that and the wrestling. So I got that stuff. Looking forward to it. Going to build this thing up. Might even get back into the gaming, though. I have that PS5, which is mostly just collecting dust. So I don't know. Though I did get, I got a Dirt 5 today because that's free on the PlayStation thing. So I'm gonna download that at some point, or maybe it's already downloaded. I don't know. Play that because that's one of those games that I was into like years ago. Because I don't really get into a whole lot of things anymore. Like the Need for Speed, that's always going to be a good one. I do kind of wish they'd make more Burnout games, but I'm thinking they might have just moved on from Burnout because it's been like years or whatever. And I think that division has since shut down. But the Dirt games, those were always ones where like I would jump in and every couple years they've released a new one, and that was always one thing that just kind of brought me back into whether it be like PS2 or 3 or a 360, along the way. I would always jump back in for those. Even on computer too. That's not my preference for a game like that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to jumping into that, seeing what it's all about. There's also was it? I still have the Miles Morales Spider-Man and some other game, Ratchet and Clank. I still haven't picked up the time to actually play either of those, but I do want to because they've been good to me over the years, right? The Spider-Man, I didn't finish the previous one, but I think I might have finished the one before that, or maybe no. But either way, it is fun swinging around town and just kind of like doing your little side missions or whatever. It's kind of like Infamous, you know? I played that one definitely through to the end, one and two. And I wish there had been more stuff to do after you actually beat the game. Because like you get to the end and then like I think there's just like random bad dudes around in the city or whatever that you can go and fight and whatever. But uh, what is Homegrown saying? I bought a model kit and said I want to paint it, so I need paint. There was the air compressor and air compressor next to the paint, and I said, ooh, that would make painting so much easier. I feel like this story ends with an unpainted model kit somewhere. Maybe not even out of the box. But let's see if he finishes this tale. Because it seems like he's playing off of his thing that he said earlier about being on a slippery slope, which is understandable, right? I find myself on those all the time. That's part of the reason I'm surrounded by action figures and whatnot, many of which are still in the box. But I think what's going to happen is I'm going to make some room for some new shelves, some additional shelves, in addition to the other new shelf. And then, by doing that, get rid of some of these shoes and whatnot. And then I'll be able to display more of the figures because that is like a better thing to have around, in my opinion. Because yes, it's nice to have all these other boxes so I know, like, oh yeah, I do want to wear these Brooks or these Asics or these cold ready whatevers. But on a day-to-day basis, most of this is unnecessary. So I think I'm going to kind of scale back on that piece of things and use my space for something that makes a little more sense and is just not so clutter looking, right? Because I don't know how people out there generally have their boxes laid out and stuff, but over here, they're organized very well, but it still takes space away from, normal life living and whatnot, right? I mean, luckily, like I have some semi small-ish feet for like an adult man, I suppose. So the boxes aren't crazy big, but in number, like that certainly adds up and takes up more than I want it to. Spider-Man was terrible on GameCube. I very much don't remember anything about the GameCube. I had one, right? I bought the little silver one. One of my favorite things about the GameCube itself was the actual Wavebird controllers, because that was like my first RF controller, and I thought it was just so cool. They were super expensive because I imported them from Japan. They came with like the Japanese manuals and stuff. I didn't know what was going on with that. Luckily, it's easy to figure out. So I bought 4 of those because it made sense to get 4 of those. Not once ever in my whole GameCube having lifespan did I ever have more than just me playing any GameCube game. But it would have been handy if that time had ever come. And so as far as GameCube games though, I do remember playing a good bit of Freedom Fighters. There was also a there's also a Ninja Turtles game somewhere around 2003, maybe 2004. That was pretty good as well. I bought some wrestling games that I did not enjoy and have mostly blocked them out of my memory. So there was that. And otherwise, I honestly don't remember playing anything else on the GameCube. I know a lot of people get them for like the Mario games, the Zelda games, and Mario ones, including like the party ones, not just like the adventure side scrolling ish type things or whatever. But I don't know. I just always looked at the GameCube as just a system that just kind of failed for me. So now $200+ later, I have some model kits, air compressor, air gun, and a lot of thoughts of putting it all to use. That's how things work, man. Like I have been pretty good about not finding myself in the middle of buying a bunch of stuff that I'm like that I just want to do something with because I know that I don't really do things with a lot of things. It's just me, right? I mean, I even with like some of the digital stuff that I have to deal with, like I like to post my little pictures and videos from like concerts or whatever. Haven't done that in forever. Granted, like I could probably catch up and get all my stuff out there in probably like under an hour, no problem. Why I haven't is beyond me. And I also have some, should have been doing that right now. I have some action figures I need to unbox and stuff so I can get those out. And I always tell myself I'm gonna do certain things like that. I'll do it next time I'm on live or something, because then it's not really paying attention to that. I just open the boxes, toss them to the side. But then it doesn't happen. The one thing that I can say I'm pretty decent about is lately I've been pretty okay with getting through my schoolwork. So that's cool, right? Because maybe one day that'll help me make more money or something. Then I can, I don't know, buy more cookies and action figures. And then of course like the videos and stuff like with the shoe things, because those I do pretty decent with, right? It's not amazing, you know. I haven't slimmed down that timeline as much as I would like to, but I'm doing a little bit better because I did get a pair of shoes in last night and I did the review today. The main part of the review, the on feed and stuff will have to happen tomorrow because you know there's only so much time in a day. But I'm getting there, getting better. Though I do still have like three from 2021 that I still need to do. It's just kind of like a matter of making the time for it to some extent, but mostly wanting to do it because sometimes it's like the subject matter and I just don't feel like doing it. But I definitely got the time and I do want them done this week. And I think I have I think I've laid out my planning for the rest of like the next handful of videos or whatever because I got to do something about some older shoes about whatever, and I think that day I'll do the other 2.5. I say 2.5 because like one of them was recorded back in October and just needs to be produced, and then the other two need to actually be recorded and edited and put out there to the world. But like this past weekend, as you may have seen, because they're probably all out there now, I think I put up 3 videos today, right? That sounds right. I have a couple shorts that will probably go up, maybe not tomorrow. If they go up tomorrow, it'll be late tomorrow because I have some real videos to put up tomorrow that I recorded today. So you should get 2 videos tomorrow and a bunch of shorts. And then hopefully the day after that, you'll get the third video that I recorded today. That's the plan as of right now, right? So that puts me at Tuesday, then Wednesday. So then maybe Thursday, right? Maybe Thursday I'll record some more stuff. When's the birthday thing? Friday? So maybe I'll record some stuff on Friday. I don't know. I figure I should record something like this. Let's see. Sid voice still driving that need for cookies? Yeah. I don't I don't understand that. So if you could like repeat that in some kind of way to where it makes like more sense, that'd be fantastic. But so yeah, I think on Friday I'll probably knock out those, or Thursday, one of those days. I think I'll record those other 2.5 or those other 2 and record and edit that one. But yeah, I got a lot of stuff to do and I want to get it done quickly before more stuff starts coming in. Luckily, I don't have a whole lot of shoes on order or anything, which is good because I tell you, man, like that backlog builds up super fast. Homegrown Kicks kind of knows a thing or two about that. Hey, and then there's Liu Kang. Haven't seen you around in a while. I know you probably have your own life you got to live, right? I get it. This is a thing that takes a back seat for most people, and I totally understand that. But hopefully things are going all right in your part of the world and all that good stuff. Feel free to let me know. There's a little section where you can say things as you just did. And so feel free to say something, you know? Or you can just hang out in the back and just kind of listen to the not so smooth sounds of my voice. Now, like I was saying, I do have, let's see, my last pair that I ordered showed up. Oh no, you know what? I take that back. There's a pair of Sauconys coming around, but that is the thing that I may not necessarily do a review on anyway. So we'll see what happens with that. Because it's one of those it's weird situations. Sometimes you just kind of like you pick up some stuff and you're like, you got some other ideas in mind or whatever. Maybe it'll be for me, maybe it won't. I don't know. I'll figure that out later. But I'll at least be pretty good. So by the time those do come in, hopefully, since Saucony is awful with shipping, hopefully by the time that happens, I'm able to get back into just doing like more or less same day reviews where like if it comes in on Monday night, I record things on the Tuesday and hopefully get it out to people on the Wednesday. When I first started doing this 3 years ago, that was how things worked. I would get off of work, I'd go pick up my shoes from my little P.O. box, I'd come home, I'd knock out a review, the review would go onto the internet, and then I would go to sleep. That was my thing almost every day because if you look back at my 2019 release layout or whatever, there was a lot of stuff happening in 2019. Let's see, missing some things. And the party has arrived. Yes, it has. Yes, it has. Thank you for bringing that. I do appreciate it. You mentioned buying cookies, and on IG, you posted a video that said some things never change, where you gave a strong desire for. So that kind of went a little weird for a second there. I'm not sure what the deal was, but it seems like my internet basically just kind of went out for whatever reason. I guess it felt like it had done enough and that it could just move on and do something else, which was basically like not work. And that wasn't really cool, you know? Not that you missed anything. There's not a whole lot going on here, as you can see by like that very minimalistic thumbnail that I put up there, which is just a thing that I just regurgitate every couple weeks. Yeah, not a lot going on. So you didn't miss anything. But it looks like it might be okay now because I see stuff coming back or whatever. So we'll see. We'll see. Let me refresh this on my end, see what's going on here. Yeah, I see things happening back on the screen and whatnot. Some people are still there. Probably most people aren't. I would have walked away if I was you too, because I would have been like, this was already boring and now it's not working. So I'd be in bed watching American Dad, and that would be the end of my night, right? That's just a personal thing. Homegrown, you didn't do anything. Like, don't try to take credit for anything you didn't do. That's not cool. The nerve of this guy, right? And then in front of the whole internet, right? But I'll be the one to point out when people are kind of doing some things they shouldn't do, right? It's just part of my nature. Let's see. And then Homegrown said to Liu Kang, how are you? Jack Dog said, he frozen. There should be an apostrophe and an S or an is in there. Okay, so it's not just me. It is just you. It's always just you. He's a sunset now. I don't know what that means. Now he's him. Jack Dog, you say some things that I don't always follow. Okay, and then he says, yes, yeah, we're back. A dinosaur story, right? You ever see that movie, We're Back, like a dinosaur story or something? I've never seen it, but I do remember seeing the poster around a lot. And now Liu Kang is saying, I'm good, homegrown. Been trying to revamp my channel. Well, that's the thing some people do, right? I think the thing to do in that situation, personally, right? Take whatever advice you want to. If it comes from me or if it doesn't matter. I personally feel that it's best to just think about what do you want to see? And then you create that, right? Because you can sit back and you can see, oh, well, I think what this person's doing is good. And then you can try and do that. But if that how they do things isn't you, it's not going to work. You got to be a little more authentic or people will see right through it. That's a thing that I've noticed, not because I've had a problem with it, but in conversation, people are like, oh, yeah, I don't like this because they seem so fake, or I like this because that seems realistic to me. So there is that piece of it. So just kind of think about like if you were sitting down and like whatever video you're about to make, if it's going to be, if you want to start making videos about fixing up cars or whatever, what do you want to see in those videos, right? Do you want to see like the whole pickup side of things and then just like the end result and then like a quick summary after it's all said and done? Or do you want the vlog from start to finish? And then do that, because the thing is, if you do that, the viewers you attract will be the viewers that want to see something that you're obviously into seeing as well. And then you kind of have some like-minded people to converse with. And that's where you win. Otherwise, you create stuff in a way that you think is just popular and what you want to capitalize on. And you get people that are into it, sure, and that can be cool, but you may not be into the crowd that you get. Let's see, what am I looking at here? Jack, a master of the language arts. Yeah, man, he's got that command of the English language down to a science. Oh, if you didn't know, Sid is Cookie Monster's real name. Oh, okay, see, that's something you should have said like earlier when I was like, what is Sid? Fun fact, Chuck E. Cheese's real name is Charles Edward Cheese. I heard that like there's also like Chuck E. Cheese pizza that is made and sold in stores under a different brand name so that it doesn't have that same, I don't want to say stigma, but that same atmosphere about it when you see it. Could be wrong, could be just a thing people made up, right? But anyways, so that's kind of expected. Well, yeah, I guess it is. But hey, people may not have known that, you know? Old Charles. Let's see, that's also a lie. All right, cool. Some dude said it at work, and I was like, I don't fact check things, right? So usually when I bring them up, I do it in a way to let them know, like, hey, like this is what I heard, you know? Some people will hear something and then just be like, hey, this is, and then speak about it as fact. That's not really okay, right? Because then you're just spreading lies. You may think it's true, right? You may have good intentions, but the execution there needs a little work. Let's see. I think I need more vlogging for sure. I was mainly just doing reviews and unboxings. Today, I did an unboxing. It was like my first unboxing review in months. It feels like months. I used to do only unboxing reviews because I felt that, for one, I like doing that, right? It's something that I enjoy. And I know a lot of people like seeing the unboxing too, because then, you know, you catch people's real first thoughts and all that stuff, right? Which is cool. So usually I'll just take the unboxing, I'll put it on Instagram, people can see it over there if they really want to. And then I'll come over here and do the real review. But every so often, you know, I try to go back and do some things that I don't quite do so much anymore, you know, make sure I still got it. So that's what I did today. And I gotta say, you weren't okay. I think, maybe. You'll you'll be the judge of that if you watch the video in a couple days. But at the same time, like I don't like certain things about it because, you know, if there's research that I want to do about something, I mean, I could have done it before I got them or whatever, but you know, that's really not my style. So it kind of just like comes down to like a weird situation where I like things about it, but I also dislike things about it. But the one thing I like the most, and the reason I do them is for the challenge of it, because you open this box, you've got something in there you've never seen before up close. So you got to look at it, you got to analyze it, you got to talk about it, all without like stuttering and stammering over your words while keeping the audience somewhat interested and sounding like you kind of have an idea what you're talking about. It's not an easy thing to do for everybody. And that's why a lot of people make lots of little cuts in their video. And I totally get it. I just let mine be long, right? So that's the cool part to me, and that's why I do that. So I'm gonna try to get back into like the unboxing reviews. We'll see what happens, but it is a thing that I'd like to do more of. Not to make this whole thing all about me, but I mean it is my video, right? Let's see. Their pizza isn't half bad. I can't remember the last time I went to Chuck E. Cheese. I would assume that it was in Iowa that one time for my cousin's child's birthday, and that child is like an adult man now. So it was a while ago. Let's see. Oh, the name thing is like, oh, okay. Well, maybe the pizza thing isn't a lie. Maybe it's one of those things where it's just like the same people make something, like they send it to Chuck E. Cheese and they also send it to this other thing. I don't know. I Who knows? I wouldn't be surprised if the pizza thing is fact. It sounds right. Chuck may be just the larger chains. You know, it could be some sort of thing. It could be like a way for him to have a front over some things. Kind of got some weird things going on in the behind the scenes that you don't want to look at. Some sort of money laundering scheme. I don't know. I don't trust him because he's a rat, and you're not supposed to trust rats. Let's see. My son says Chuck E. Cheese sells recycled pizza. That can't be true. I wouldn't put it past him. I mean, to stay in business that long while like doing something of that nature, like you got to cut the corners where you can, right? So unlike what is it Wendy's? Like they say like they don't cut corners and that's why their burgers are square or something. I guess maybe what's their name? What's that pizza with the squares? Little Caesars? Maybe they also don't cut corners. Do you guys eat Little Caesars pizza? Because like I've got nothing against it. I just can't remember the last time I had it. But people were talking about it at work, and it made me think like maybe we should try some Little Caesars pizza sometime soon. Because I like pizza. I like in case anybody cares. Me personally, I buy from Domino's because there's one like relatively close, and I get the old just feta cheese, light feta cheese, and light spinach, and that is enough for me. I'm a very simple man when it comes to my pizza tastes. What about you guys? You guys like to pile a bunch of stuff on there, or do you kind of go with like just a little bit? I actually went to this pizza place up in Denver, Colorado in 2016, 2015, excuse me, 2015. And they had all kinds of different pizzas there. I think they had the baked ziti pizza. They had like the cheeseburger pizza. They had all kinds of stuff. It's like pizza was crap all over it, right? But a lot of it was really good. And I think I ate there a couple times because a couple doors down, maybe three doors down, if you get the joke, I was going to this show for Alkaline Trio, right? One of Chicago's finest. And so I'm there, and it was 4 nights, 2 albums each night, end to end, right? Because they had 8 albums at the time, so they're just gonna do like all their albums. Dude, that was a freaking crazy show. Like by the end of night 3, my body was like, I can't do this anymore. So when I went in for night 4, I was like, this may be. And I'm fine with that because I'll go out doing something I'm super into with some awesome music. But man, it was freaking rough. This is a really good time though. Let's see. What am I missing here in the chat? Things. You can't trust a rat. See? Yeah, Luke, you know. That was a rumor started by Shane Dawson. I know that's who is Shane Dawson? Let's see. Yes, Little Caesars isn't great, but it's good. So, homegrown kicks. Back when I used to live in Georgia, one of the places that I frequented, mostly against my will, but because my friends were cheap, was CC's Pizza. I can't remember which one it was. I want to say it was near man, what was it near? There's near Southern Elite Gymnastics Academy, I guess, probably, because. But yeah, we used to go there a lot, like a lot, for no real reason. But that was just where people would go because it's like, okay, there's food here and it's super cheap, so I want that, which was cool. Hold on a second. I'm going to try to switch back onto the actual real internet here because I think I'm good. We'll see. We'll see. So if this thing actually like it should as well as the wireless. You can just kind of switch from one to the other. Three doors down. Let's see. Oh, okay. Oh, it's clicked off the video. Now I got to get back over here. There we go. Okay, now we're back on here. Let's see. Little Caesars is good. Okay. I'll have to give that a shot this weekend after I use my Domino's thing because they were late on delivery. So now I have a free pizza coming. Three Doors Down, great band. Yeah, they are. I saw them one time in Charleston, South Carolina with Hoobastank and some band that I cannot remember. Will Hogue. Will Hogue was there also. Will Hogue, Hoobastank, and Three Doors Down. Very weird combination given that Hoobastank was there. But whatever. Let's see. I'm ashamed to admit I have punished a little too much CC's in my day. I would imagine anybody who has gone there has, because you go into that kind of thing with not like a chip on your shoulder, but you go in knowing I'm about to pay for like a buffet and I need to get my money's worth, right? It's the same thing when you go to like a Chinese buffet. So you go in there and you're like, dude, I want some of this and some of that, and some of this and some of that. And then you eat it all. And then you're like, okay, I should not eat anymore. But I feel like there's still room in the inn. So you got to go and eat a little bit more, right? It's not a great thing to do. You know, your body is going to be really sad about it later. But it's justified because you want to make the most out of your money, right? So I think people are behind you on that. And Gigantor says pizza CC or CC's pizza will wreck you. Like some dyslexia just slipped in there out of nowhere. I'm not normally like that, but sometimes, it happens. Let's see. You survived by God's grace. CC's pizza was terrible. It smells like cat urine. Interesting. I'm not very familiar with cat urine, but if I happen to encounter a cat and it's urine, I guess, I'll try to like make a mental note and then go to CC's later and see if there's some similarities there. I haven't seen a CC's pizza in some time. I don't even know if there's. I'm going to assume that there's got to be one around here. I'm sure Virginia Beach has at least 3 of them. It's a big place, right? Let's see. CC's Pizza. Oh, there's one like minutes from here. Who knew? Not me. Let's see. And let's search. Yeah, so apparently they do definitely have them, right? And there they are in all their splendor. So that's something. Something I honestly like. I didn't want to go in the past, and I don't see me going now, but whatever. Let's see. I will eat it like it's my last meal. That is a bold statement. Oh, wait. Okay. I missed the previous one before. I thought you were talking about CC's. He's talking about Chinese buffet. Stands no chance against me. I went to a Chinese buffet once. So a friend of mine, like, I forget, I think we were playing video games or something. Either way, he came by and then like he ended up, I think he was drinking or something. So he just like slept on the couch or something. And so the next day we watched a whole season of Dexter, right? Like the whole thing, like disc after disc after disc, because there was like 3 of them. And then we went to a Chinese buffet, right? And we were there for hours, like literally hours. Just it was bad. And then like I was like, I've never been so hungry in my life. Like it was as if I had never eaten before, and there was just this bottomless pit that needed to be filled, and I just couldn't fill it. And it was a great time. Afterwards, I felt like terrible immediately, but while it was happening, thumbs up all the way. That, in case you're curious, that place was called Walk and Roll because it's a Chinese buffet, and that is probably the best Chinese buffet name that I've ever experienced in my 39 years of living on this earth. Though to be fair, for that first couple years, I wasn't really paying a lot of attention to the world around me, but just trust me on that. It's the best name ever. Though that place doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. Let's see. You haven't seen them because they're out of business. Oh yeah, I thought they were all gone. Chinese buffets. But yeah, like I don't know, like nowadays though, I'm a little skeptical about the whole Chinese buffet situation on account of, like the last year or two made me think like about how nasty some people can be or whatever. You know, you see people just like coughing all over things and whatnot, and just touching everything. I'm like, and then like the food is like right there, face level with some person's nasty kid, and I'm like, oh man, yeah. I don't look at Chinese buffets the same anymore. So it's partially ruined, but who knows? Maybe if I like go to one again, I'll just get in there and like all that stuff will just leave my mind, and I'll just like fill my plate with, you know how Chinese buffets, you can get like some macaroni and cheese and some French fries and like a Mexican, or not a Mexican donut, a Chinese donut and some shrimp fried rice all on the same plate, and then go get you some Jello if you want. I don't eat Jello, but it's a thing that a lot of people eat. You get like the weirdest combination of things. And I feel like that might be part of the downfall that some people feel in this region after the Chinese buffet happens. I remember going to one like years ago before a Sick Puppies concert. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Sick Puppies, but man, it was a pretty good buffet down in El Paso, which is in Texas for anybody that doesn't know. And we ate way too much, which is a thing you don't want to do before you go to like a show like that. Because if you're trying to move around and whatnot, that's not the place to do it. Like not in that state, you know what I'm saying? Like with a bunch of food in you. Let's see. There's only 3 in Georgia and they're spread out. Yeah, well, if that's the case, and well, when I lived in Georgia was many moons ago. I left there in 2007. Yeah, 2007. So, I mean, I could probably look, and if the one that I went to is still around, actually, you know what? I might, I might actually, because I remember being there with like a group of people, and I think we took a bunch of pictures around outside and stuff. So I could probably like look it up and then have a good idea of where it was. And you might even know, depending on how well you know the city. Like me, I'm not much for knowing things. You know, I know the places where I go, and that's pretty much it. Let's see. Buffets of any sort have never been sanitary. We just never. Oh, he deleted that as I was trying to read it. But luckily, StreamYard is a little more lenient. Let's see. Oh no, it's out. No, it's already on gone from there too. Sometimes there's that delay, you know. But he got to that one pretty quick. So now I'll never know what he said, right? Because I think there used to be a thing where you could restore the messages or something like that. But, you know, if somebody deleted something, they probably don't want it out there. Let's see. Have we seen the Moon Knight trailer? So let me tell you a thing about Tristan Stewart and trailers. They don't they don't hang out together. They don't. And I'll tell you why. Because trailers often give you a little more than you want. They give me more than I want. I just want a little glimmer of what could be. But they're often like, here, we're just going to give you 8 minutes of the beginning and then 12 minutes of the middle and 16 minutes of the very end. And I'm like, so I don't need to see this movie now, do I? So, yeah, to answer your question, I didn't know the trailer existed because I don't seek out trailers. And if I did know that it existed, I still would know as much about it as I do right now, which is nothing. So hopefully it's good, you know, not necessarily the trailer, but the show, because I like for my comic things to be good. I like for them to be done well because that's just a thing that I want. I don't ask for a whole lot out of the world, right? But that is one thing. I bought a tablet recently. Some people may have seen that over on Legram. So I started reading X Factor again because that's a pretty cool thing. You know, I'm a big Jamie Madrox fan. You know, Monoxide Child is pretty cool too. Let's see. That might work out for you, seeing that if it's a series, seeing that it's a series. Yeah, like, because I don't want to have too much information, you know? And then you can watch things like when I saw, what was that, Spider-Man, right? I didn't know Electro was in the movie until like 3 days before the movie came out, right? So, and I'm sure a lot of people knew that, but like I went into it, I wanted to know as little as possible, which was good because when I went in, I made sure to see it like opening day, so that way I didn't have to try to avoid spoilers and whatnot. And I got in there, I watched it, and I was like, man, this was all right. You know, I don't know how everybody else felt about it. I know it made a bunch of money, but just because something makes a bunch of money doesn't necessarily mean it's like good, right? people just go and you see stuff, and then after you paid for it, that's when you find out if you like it or not. Kind of unfortunate, but it works that way. And so I was like, yeah, this was all right. I'll watch this again one day, maybe on Disney Plus or wherever. Let's see. Trailers always tell me the entire movie, so I stay away from them. Yeah, man, that's the problem. That's like, it's just too much. Just, I don't know. Like, if you put too little, then it's probably like not worth making the video. But me personally, like, I'd be good with a poster. If you said, like, if you showed me like a picture and it's like, this is Michael Morbius, and he's just like all like vampired out, about to eat somebody's face, I'd be like, oh, this should be all right. I don't need all the other stuff. It's cool to give you an idea of like what kind of graphics to expect, I assume, sure, whatever. But overall, again, enough is enough when it comes to the trailers, and I just want like this, and they want to give me that. So let's see. I liked it a lot. First time Tom Holland Spidey didn't. So the first Spider-Man movie that he was in, right? I didn't get it. I didn't see what everybody else saw. I was just like, this isn't good, right? Like, no. But then the Mysterio one, I was like, oh, this was pretty entertaining, right? He had some different suits in there from what I recall, and the Mysterio thing was done well. And then this one, I think I just liked it because it was just, like the portion of nostalgia that was slipped into there throughout the movie and stuff. That was pretty cool, right? And the bigger thing, the real reason I wanted to see the movie was just to see how that ties in to, move the next Doctor Strange movie along. And so that was like the bigger thing. Because I'm looking forward to that more so than Spider-Man. Like, there's things you want to see, and then there's things you like want to see, right? Spider-Man, Doctor Strange. Let's see. Homegrown Cake says, I still haven't seen Spider-Man. I don't know if my disappointment is showing or not, but I hope it is. I hope with all my hope that it is. Let's see. Morbius versus Moon Knight would, that'd be a weird thing to see. So what was it? I wonder. I saw somebody mention something like, "Oh, I wonder if they'll like bring back what's the guy's name? Iron Fist?" Because I guess like Iron Fist and Moon Knight had some kind of something. I don't know if they were a team or if they just like worked together once in a while, or because I wouldn't imagine they fought each other, because that wouldn't make sense. Maybe initially, because all good guys like to fight each other initially. It's just what they do. But yes, you know what? There, I keep forgetting to use like the put it on the big screen option or a Blade crossover. Like I've probably said this before, but I was at the like Comic-Con when they like debuted that Blade was going to happen, and that was pretty cool. I wonder whatever happened to that hat that I got. I think I gave it away or something. I don't know, because like when you go to those Hall H things, they often like give you some little memorabilia. So because I got like a Fantastic Beasts wand one year, and I gave it to some woman on a plane because she was like, I'm such a huge Fantastic Beasts fan. And I was like, okay, here, you want this wand? Maybe it'll shut you up, you know? And so that was that situation. And then later on, like I got like some Venom mask, which at the time they wanted you to wear it to like have like a Venom face on or whatever. But it ended up working out later because I went into some place like beginning of last year and like, you need to have a mask on to come in here. And luckily I still had that Venom mask like tucked away in the car for some odd reason. But yeah, the Blade thing, that could be something. I'm curious to see how that whole thing is going to work out. I don't know what all else is really coming around as far as movies go, but I can tell you one other thing, shifting gears just a little bit. I don't know where it is, probably on the other side of this big old multiple stacks of shoes. You'll see that in the morning. I got that Oculus Quest 2 the other day, right? I bought it for my parents, but I wanted to like see what it was all about first before I like give it to them. And man, that thing is something else. I was playing what's it called? Thrill of the Fight. It's a boxing game, right? it's very realistic, which is the thing that people say. And I was like very realistically tired after playing it. It's a good workout, don't get me wrong. Like it's very entertaining, right? Very fun game. But man, like if you're not ready for it, it will defeat you, right? Because I'm playing and I'm just like, man, this is good. I'm like punching the bag and like, so that was my downfall because I was playing for like probably 10, 15 minutes, just like punching the punching bag, doing all this stuff because it gives you your little like stats on the side each time you punch something. And then I was like, let me go ahead and play the game now. And I start playing the game, like, and the dude's in there, and I'm like, I am so tired. And I'm like punching at him, and I was winning, but at the same time, as I was winning, I was also defeating myself because like I should have gone in fresh, maybe stretched first, but oof. And then I picked up something where you have like these swords and you're like playing to the music. That's also very fun. So the Oculus Quest 2 gets a thumbs up from me. Find whatever game makes sense to you. Pick that up if you pick one up, and you'll probably enjoy it as well. Let's see. I hate going to the movies. They generally let me down and make me regret spending $22. So I will. Okay. And he says, what are you spending $22 on? He's talking about VR gaming. Oh, cool. So going back to this $22 thing. Here's the thing, right? I am a member of the, what do they call it? AMC Movie Club or something or other. Because for $25, $26 a month, I can see 3 movies a week, right? And so when, what's that? The movie with the Michael Myers guy. What's that called? Halloween. When Halloween came out, right? I wanted to go see that. So I bought my little ticket for the Dolby Digital or Dolby Digital, Dolby Cinema, whatever they call that. Because that's like the best room in the theater here, right? It's like the best picture. So I was like, I want that one. So I got my ticket, and it tells you what it costs when you're clicking the checkout because they just tell you, like even though it's free. And that ticket would have been $18 if it wasn't like free. And I'm thinking like, who is paying $18 to see a movie? So I see where Homegrown Kicks is coming. Stubs, yes. So I see where Homegrown Kicks is coming from with the $18 thing. Because if you buy, with 22, because if you buy like a new movie ticket, right, depending on the type of theater, and maybe you buy some M&Ms or something, there's your next $6 or $4 or whatever math it takes to make 22. So I get it, right? He may have said that as an exaggeration, but movies are not cheap, not at all. So that Stubbs thing is pretty good. It pays for itself. Unfortunately, I haven't been to the movies since Spider-Man, and that was like a while ago. So I'm not really getting my money's worth, but it's kind of their fault for not really making any movies that I care to see. Though I did realize recently that I could have gone, and it's like a special thing, so I would have had to pay for it, but the movie theaters will play like the AEW pay-per-views. They'll play like UFC shows. They do all kinds of other stuff in the theaters, like if there's something going on. Didn't know that. Let's see. This is a sign to invest in one. Even if I'm not gaming, it would be cool to stream. I honestly don't know. Like, I guess you'd have to stream like the video as it's playing to, the screen, and then maybe show yourself playing as well. Like, because that's how people can know how into it you might be. But I tell you, like, I felt weird, like, as I'm standing there, like in the boxing game, and like I've got this thing on, because like, the thing. And then you jump, as soon as the world pops up, like you're right there at the billboard where because you have to hit your selections, right? You don't just click on them. And so it takes me to like the screen where I'm like, I'm going to fight some dude. And it's like, back up into your corner. And I'm like, what? And I turn around and like, there's a seat behind me. So I like back up. I'm standing there. I'm like, I'm looking around and I look over here and there's this dude, the referee dude standing next to me. I'm like, this thing is freaky. It's very entertaining though. I definitely, even if you don't buy one, just find someone that has one and check that out. Let's see. Bring your own snacks. Red carpet premiere tickets. Yeah. Let's see. I work during the day. Bring your own snacks, not an option. The one here, like, I don't know if they're against it or not, but like they don't check, like you can walk in there with like a big old purse and you can, or whatever, and people are just gonna be like, all right, cool, go on in. I just get my stuff there because It's just easier. Yes, it's way, way more expensive, but there's a certain amount of convenience. Let's see. Yeah, Fathom Events Play PV special. Okay. I'm not an anime guy, but whatever to that. But the other stuff seems interesting. It's not. You better go with a woman with a purse. I haven't gone to a movie theater because of the price. People said in 4 or 5 years. Oh, this homegrown case. He sounds like one of those dudes that's like 85. I'm not going to no movie theater. Always just mad about something. It's fine. Go in there. Have the experience. See a movie that you want in the way that it was meant to be seen. Just wait like 3 weeks so when you go in there, it's not super crowded. You'll have a better time. Let's see. It's not allowed, but no one is checking. Yeah, it's because like I honestly like maybe someday I'll walk up there with like a pack of hot tamales or something and see if anybody stops me. I bet you they don't because I bet you they know better than to like test me like that. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll have to give it a shot and let you guys know. I'll live stream the whole thing, bro, right on Twitch. I say that as a joke, but that's the thing people say, and I'm just like, nobody wants to watch you. You know, people are probably saying that about me. Like, I'm not watching this. I can only imagine how many people have said that as like they're scrolling through, like they're looking for a video and they're like, who is this guy? I'm not watching. Nah. Because I'll judge a book by its cover all day. Let's see. No, they check here. Well, just be quick about it. Do some Chris Angel stuff, just like make it like not so easy to notice. Let's see. Homegrown, more like homebound. Oh, that's funny to me. Where is that? Oh, homebound kicks. Go ahead and ask him what he's doing at home because it sure isn't making videos. No, I'm kidding. He put out some recently, so I can't give him too much crap about it now. But I'll give it like another couple weeks, wait for things to die down, and then I'll be back with a whole fresh batch of jokes or whatever. Let's see. Man, listen to dystopian land with oppressive movie overlords. Why? Wouldn't that be something? Speaking of movies, because I just happen to see myself in this here screen or whatever. Big Money Hustlers. Anybody ever seen that? It's not a good movie, but it is entertaining if you like movies that like don't take themselves too seriously. So I'll definitely suggest it. I haven't seen it in forever, but I'm wearing the shirt because it made sense with the videos I was recording today. Let's see. Spider-Man: No Way Home. Grown Kicks is seeing this movie in theaters. He it'd be something. One of these days, homegrown, you gotta put aside your old man life and live like a man that's not an old man. I'm older than you and I still go out there. Just suck it up. Like if you're cool with spending a bajillion dollars on some poor quality Jordan 1s every three weeks or something, you can go and you can spend $20 to treat yourself to like a solid movie experience. Stop making excuses. Get out there and live your life before you can't do it anymore. Then you start feeling all regretful, and all you have is just a bunch of shoes around you, no memories of anything. You know what I'm saying? It happens. It's a real thing that affects people in America and other countries, from what I understand. So, another thing that affects people all around the world is knowing when they should probably hang up the thing that they are doing because they need to wake up relatively early in the morning, edit a couple videos, and then eventually go to work. Same thing I did today, right? So I just got to do that again tomorrow on a slightly smaller scale. Well, actually, today I had to wake up and actually record the videos. And when you see those, you're like, man, that was a lot of time. But tomorrow I need to do the editing. Luckily, there are no actual reviews, so the editing will be minute. But there's still the whole post-processing part of like making sure the videos are tagged right and the descriptions are relatively related to what's going on. So that way, if people want to find them, they can find them. There's a whole thing about it, right? Once you make the video, that's only part of the work. The real work is all the other stuff, to be completely honest. And it sucks a lot sometimes because it's time consuming, especially when you realize that Premiere failed you, mostly on my own fault. And I had to re-encode 2 videos last night. Lost a lot of time to that. But anyways, what I'm getting at is that I'm pretty much done here, right? So let me read these last couple comments, then we're going to close things out. If you have any questions, you got to get them in before I do the closing, because that's how that works. Otherwise, you just run out of time and I hit end broadcast and then we part ways. So where was I? Let's see. I just got the patent bred ones. I am a purchaser of poor quality Jordan 1s. Anybody who buys Jordan 1s is a purchaser of poor quality Jordan 1s. That's just part of the experience. Let's see. Why go to the theater when I can stream it? I like skating and bowling. You, to you. That's what I say to you. Let's see. I'm sure bowling with food, drink is running you $22, is it not? But I guess to each his own. LOL. Okay, cool. So there we go. Looks like we've got everything. Therefore, from me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, whatever it is, wherever you are. Go out, see a movie or something, live some life, and see the things that you're missing. For me, I'm going to, like I said, go to bed. Might eat a little something first because I haven't eaten since forever. So I should probably do that. But yeah, either way, I put some videos out. If you want to watch them, you can watch them. If you don't want to watch them, or if you just have better things to do with your time, which I hope you do because the videos aren't really anything amazing, do that other thing. There's going to be some other ones tomorrow. If you want to watch those, same thing applies. If you don't want to watch those, same thing applies. So that's it. That's my totally insincere plug for my crap. And now we are good. So later, people. I'm going to hold and hit this end broadcast